I'm Mark.
I'm Justin.
And we're My Loving Tiger.
We started this band 17 years ago. Now we're back.
To revisit, re-record, and re-release every song we've ever written.
So come and join us.
Hello and welcome back to the channel.
In this video, we take a look at some of the comments we received this month.
First, we'll take a look at some comments where people tell us what our band sounds like.
First off, Joey C says, sounds like Monine.
Yeah, Monine. I remember listening to this band. I think I had their first album.
Right. I do remember listening to this band too. I had to go look them up because I was like, this sounds really familiar, this name.
Yeah, because they were one of the like vagrant bands from the early 2000s, mid 2000s. I think I probably heard them on like a sampler, like a Vagrant sampler.
That seems likely. Vagrant was like a cool label to be on for a while.
Yeah, very cool.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a cool band. I went back and listened to that album after the comment or whatever, and it's a good album. I like it. Next up, Mike Roberts 9299, which is probably the last four digits of his social security number, said that this song reminds him of the early 2000s, and then he gave us a crying face because he's sad maybe that it's not the early 2000s anymore.
Yeah, or it's just emo.
Oh, yeah, sure. Referencing, he's giving us the genre with an emoji.
Right.
Yeah. So this goes back to the Monine comment, though. Like, this is the era we were existing in. You know what I mean? Like, we're 17 years after the band started, so it makes sense that we sound like a band from the early 2000s because we're a band from the early 2000s.
I would say, I take that as a good thing. It's like, we still have that essence of that sound.
Yeah, like in re-recording the songs, we didn't like ruin all of the original sound that we had. Yeah, the vibe of the early 2000s. Yeah.
Right.
I take it as a compliment too because like those were the bands that I was listening to, like Get Up Kids, Jets to Brazil, like all that stuff that was Saves the Day, like all that stuff that was coming out at that time.
Aaron Matthews says, was that Rivers Cuomo?
Yeah. This was a strange one. I don't really hear that. I've also never gotten that as a comment. No one's ever said to me like, oh, you sound like Rivers.
At first I was like thinking it was on a different video and they're making fun of my glasses.
Oh, yeah, like physical appearance.
But it's on the lyric video.
Yeah, so we're not in the video.
Right. Or I wonder, this might get way too technical here, but there's a plugin that the guy who mixes Rivers always uses on his voice.
Oh, the vitalizer.
The vitalizer. Yeah. And we sometimes put the vitalizer on a voice. Yeah. And he was like, this is an audio nerd who was like, wait, is that the vitalizer?
Oh, sonically.
Sonically.
Yeah.
I was listening to Mix the Masters. And
my voice doesn't sound like Rivers Cuomo, but the effects that we've applied sounds like his effect chain.
Right.
Alex Mano J. Matthews says we sound like Porcupine Tree meets the drumming from No Excuses.
I can hear that Alice in Chains idea.
Yeah. The drum part in If I Had Only Known More About Knots has a rim knock, like random tom hits, like that like sort of like flourish hi-hat. No Excuses has that sort of like similar sort of like playing all over the kit randomly almost.
You and I had a discussion about this comment because you were saying part of that Alice in Chains song is actually bongos.
Yes.
And I was like, really? And I had to go and look, and it is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's bongos. I would say, I don't know for a fact, but I would say when it was recorded that it was probably done in pieces.
That seems likely.
Like the drum kit is just playing like that beat, and then someone is coming in and doing the little bongo things, and then maybe even like the little like hi-hat-y flourish things. And then Porcupine Tree, I don't listen to, so...
What era of Porcupine Tree?
Yeah, I looked them up and they've like been around since 91. The newer stuff is more like cinematic and lush, which I think is definitely what we do. So I could hear that too.
Game Freak says, sounds like American football, which I wasn't listening to that when we wrote this. I think American football got a lot more popular after they broke up.
For sure. Well, they just did LP1 and like pieced out.
Right. Like I knew who they were, but it wasn't something that I was like...
I had the CD and listened to it, but it was never anything that I was like drawing from it.
And then they go on to give us some pointers on how to arrange the song.
Yeah, less vocal, less lyrics.
Right.
Too many words.
But I will say that we had thought about doing, and this just gave us more evidence that we should release an instrumental version.
This month we released an instrumental version of If I Had Only Known More About Knots. This is the first time that we've done that. Going forward, we will continue to release an instrumental version of each song that we release. And retroactively.
Yeah, we're gonna release the earlier ones.
Yeah, we just got to get it all together and get them up on the internet.
So if you just want to jam out without any words.
Yeah, no singing.
You can just let it loop. Or if you want to use it as like a jam track and just solo.
You want to sing over our songs?
Right.
Write your own lyrics.
Right.
Sing your own melodies.
Yeah.
Send it to us.
Cut it up.
Yep.
Rap over it, whatever.
We'll talk about it here. Now we'll take a look at some of the more random comments we got throughout the month.
The weird.
The weird, the random.
Funny.
Yeah, the funny.
First up, Joshua Powell says, is there a full version?
I love that. Like, we only wrote, because it's not a short.
Right.
And the idea that we only write 15 seconds.
We're spending way too much time then if that's all we need.
The unbelievable amount of production that we take to just produce 15 seconds of song to post on the. So, yes, there's a full version. There's always a full version.
If you're watching a short, it's linked almost always.
Oh, yeah, it's linked right at the bottom of the short. You just click it.
You just click it.
So, Joshua Powell, click the link.
Luxian25 says, I have PTSD about Magic the Gathering. We were talking about chords resolving.
Yeah.
But apparently just hearing that word
triggered him.
Yeah, does it resolve? And he was like, what just happened?
Yeah, we had to look this up. We had to Google this. Neither one of us played Magic the Gathering. But apparently you can ask, does it resolve? And if everyone says yes, you can't lay any more cards. And then it starts the next turnover or something like that.
Maybe someone in the comments will explain the actual rules to us.
Yeah. If you are into Magic the Gathering or you're Luxian25, let us know all the steps involved. Jenny Therian answered a question we put out there last month because people kept commenting first. And we were like, why does everyone keep doing that? We don't know what to do with that. Okay, sounds good. And she let us know that when someone says first, you're supposed to pin the comment to the top.
So I pinned her comment.
Yep. And she was super happy that you pinned the comment.
She's like, that's never happened to me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we're a small channel. So all month we've been pinning comments.
That's actually true.
Yeah. But now we've solved it, or Jenny solved it for us.
Yeah, thanks, Jenny. Carrying on with the weird comments, P90 says, nice elbow.
I think he was making fun of us because in the drum video, the elbow was not cropped out of the foot cam.
Yeah, just that elbow coming in.
So you could see my elbow. But I responded earnestly and said, it's a peony. But people always tell me it looks like a red cabbage. You know? But yeah, anyway, I know that's not what he was talking about. He was saying, next time crop the arm out of the foot video. Next up, we got a few comments about guitars.
Alex Hewitt says, okay, put in the wood chipper. And he was talking about that red guitar over there.
Yep. I thought it was really funny because in the video, like, you're like, oh, is this brittle? And I'm like, yeah, this is brittle. I don't like that red guitar. Like, we had to erase it from the last record. It caused so many headaches. But like in the video, you just put the guitar down, unplug, pick it up, and just walk out of the scene. Like you're just pissed and you like quit the band, or you're just like, throw this guitar in the garbage. You just like exit. And then Not Another Guitar Channel said, those P90s sound like P90s.
You know, I'm glad that Another Guitar Channel came in to give us some validation.
Yep.
Because, you know, do they sound like P90s? I wasn't sure.
I don't know. We only own one guitar with P90s, so we have nothing to compare it to.
That is actually not true. The guitar that went in the wood chipper in the last comment has a P90.
Does have a P90 in the back. Oh, it only has one. So compared to the red guitar, yeah, it sounds great. Now we'll take a look at some of the bass comments we got. First, we got David88GSK. I'm not sure if there's some other way to say that. And he let us know that our bass playing is too scientific.
I also don't know what that means.
This video was, we switched the bass line and knots so that the bass played along with the kick in the chorus. And so I think he's just saying like, that's too scientific. We're thinking
mathematical.
Yeah, too mathematical. We're thinking about it too much of like how the bass should be played.
I mean, I think part of the reason to re-record these songs is to do some reflection and to like bring in what we've learned, you know.
For sure.
So I'll take that as a good.
Yeah, because like we wanted it to lock in. It's stronger. It drives the song better. If we don't like the bass part, we just change the bass part.
Chop it, delete it. Yeah.
Right. So we definitely do approach the bass in a more
scientific way,
I guess. Yeah. Lucas Zwastetsky said that I was being passive-aggressive.
You're just being Midwestern.
When I told you that your bass part was cool and interesting, what I really meant was it's not cool, it's not interesting, but I was just being polite.
He's not wrong that people do that.
Sure, but I was actually being honest.
I agree.
Because we changed, again, like this goes right back to the last comment. We changed the bass part and we were like, oh, what if we did this? And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's interesting. Because it was cooler and more interesting than the previous bass part.
Right.
But I do understand that, like Midwestern, like, yeah, it's good.
One of the biggest slams you can dish out in Minnesota is he's interesting or that's interesting or yeah. Because that's the
like you go see a band play and someone's like, oh, what did you think of the band? And you say, oh, they're nice guys.
Oh yeah, that's worse.
You know,
that might be worse.
That's the passive aggressive. Oh yeah, they're nice guys. But I wasn't bagging on the bass playing. I was being honest.
Right.
Next, we'll take a look at some of the Rhodes comments we got this month.
Bender the Boiler wanted us to make a short explaining how the Rhodes and the Wurlitzer sound different. Because initially the short just had like pictures of the insides and me actually saying it wrong.
Oh yeah, because it's metal tines and metal rods.
I said it backwards, but then good question. What do they sound like? And so we were able to find, I think, a pretty good sample of the Wurlitzer, put that in there, and then we put in your Rhodes playing so you could really hear the difference. They sound different. Unexpectedly, we got a comment on the video where we actually had the Rhodes sound playing by Johnny Neon entertaining truth. There was a lot of back and forth, and I don't think we can show it all or read it all here because there was like 11. It was like 11 comments back and forth. Yeah. But to summarize, his claim is he has John Paul Jones's Rhodes. But
he doesn't actually have it. It was in a storage locker in Europe? France, and he never got it back? Or he still has the storage locker?
There was a divorce in there, and there's some other stuff about a guy he sold it to. The root of this, though, is I want to see this Rhodes. So if you're the ex-wife, or if you're the dude who has it in France, post a video of John Paul Jones Rhodes. And if you're John Paul Jones...
If you're John Paul Jones, get in the comments.
Get in the comments, John Paul Jones, and, refute this. Did you sell your Rhodes to some dude?
I don't even know how you'd be able to tell.
Probably has like a rune, because like they had what's John Paul Jones's rune? Because there's the feather.
Okay, sure.
There's also,
I get what you're saying, yeah.
Bottom had the 3 circles.
But was it from that era?
What was John Paul Jones's rune? Now I don't remember. I still named everyone else's rune.
Maybe he's got it carved into the leather.
That's what I'm saying, is like you open up the Rhodes and it's like the glowing runes in there.
We sold our Rhodes to John Paul Jones. He was like, I need a new one, guys. I left mine in France. How much? Okay, and then we got one comment on auxiliary percussion, which makes sense because auxiliary percussion is always like the lowest viewed video.
Right.
And like the strangest video. It's just us in a room programming auxiliary percussion on a computer.
We used to play the percussion.
Sure. But I'm saying like in the video, it's like click, click, click. The entertainment factor is just what we say about the parts.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
But the obscure Rust had some things that connected for him.
The triangle.
Initially, he was talking about a chatterbox, which I think is that like
spinny thing on the stick.
Yeah, it goes click, 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 click. Yeah, like people do it.
I think it is.
That's what I think is the chatterbox.
Yes, I believe it is.
Yeah, but then he ended up deciding that actually he's talking about the Vibra Slap.
The Vibra Slap.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I told him, we actually have that on a song. Go check it out.
Right. I will say that we actually do talk about who even puts triangle in a song anymore. So the fact that he came in and was like, yeah, I haven't put triangle in a song forever. It makes sense. Like you don't really, it's not a very common thing. And last up, we'll take a look at some of the comments we got on the drums this month.
This comment by 5-4 Time says, I do this by accident.
And the context of that is?
You're hitting your leg.
Yeah. With the electronic drum kit, this song had rim knocks. And when you knocked the rim, it sounded so much like the snare drum.
It was like making a rim shot.
Yeah, it was like distracting. So I had to play the rim knock on my leg. And so we got a lot of comments about playing on my leg to keep time. I'm just trying to keep time or whatever. 5-4 Time came in and said, I hit my leg on accident, which all drummers do. Like, you know
lack
what
of
I mean?
coordination.
Like, yeah, not like, but you like sweep or miss a snare and hit your leg or whatever. And then continuing on that leg trend, Irby Missing AK said, it's another sound. But we're recording a digital drum kit, so there's no microphones in the room.
Right.
So we're not recording the sound of me hitting my leg over and over again. I mean, it definitely does produce a sound, but it is not in the final mix.
Aaron Klein says, I'm not a drummer.
Okay.
But this video helped me understand what a drummer's doing back there behind the kit.
Yes.
And we talked a bit about like, well, do you think that maybe this person has never seen a drummer do what they do? Or was it just that's the moment where it kind of light bulb went off? Like, oh, I see there's like a bass groove, there's like a level, and then there's just fills you do inside that groove.
Yeah, I think it was more of an idea of like the drum part itself in the verse is like a deconstruction of a drum part. Rim knock on the 1, snare on the 2, kick on the 3, and then like a bell ride ding on the 4. You're deconstructing like this drum part to make this sort of like loop. And if you like just listen to each part, it makes the overall groove. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think that's what he's saying.
Not totally sure, but I was glad that at least seeing you play the drum part gave them insight. And that's kind of the whole point.
Right. Like, because we're just showing you like exactly how we record a part, exactly what we do. And then along that same vibe, NX Candro said he loves seeing behind the scenes of the session.
Again, that's like the whole point of why we're doing this.
Yep, that's our thesis statement.
Send us a grade.
See the process.
Right. why we're doing that, just to reiterate, if someone hasn't heard us say why we're doing it, like there's a couple levels to it. But one is like when we were coming up in music, there was a lot of mystery and things were hidden and there was a lot of like smoke and mirrors. And so it would have been really helpful for us to see like what does the drum part sound like before it gets mixed and put in the song, and like how did they put that guitar part together. And I think the other reason we're doing this, and you can feel free to add on this, is that like we're trying to find other people who share our DIY values and like the community aspect.
Like the whole idea of this channel is like, watch us record guitar, and like if you listen to the song and you're like, oh, that's a weird guitar part, I wonder how they got there, you can actually see how we got there. Like, oh, we played this lick, and like sometimes I'll like screw a lick up and we'll be like, oh, that's cool, or do that. Or like we'll start with the chords and then deconstruct the chords, you know, like, and we do that with all the instruments, you know. Does this need a Rhodes part here? No, mute it. Oh, I like the high part of the Rhodes but not the low part of the Rhodes, you know. So you get to see all of these things. And last up, we will take a look at people being nice on the internet. So to start out with, we will go to Dan J, our favorite commenter. So he said, you guys are getting better every song. Can't wait for the visualizer.
I'm going to take that as a sincere comment.
I'm going to take him at his word.
Right.
I'm going to entertain the truth of that and say that he loves the visualizers this month. You just have to wait one more week, Dan J, and then you'll have your visualizer.
So we got a comment from Lively Roses letting us know that we did a good job and we should keep it up.
Yeah. Thank you. We have lots more songs to put out, so keep coming back, and hopefully you like all of them. So that's all the comments for the month. Thank you to everybody that left a comment. This is our first comments only video. Usually we tie this in our monthly wrap-up video, but we've been getting so many comments and we've wanted to show so many that we just didn't have time for, so now we're just doing a strictly comments only video. So let us know if you like it and we will keep putting them up. You can head over to Spotify or listen here on YouTube to all of the songs we've released so far, and check out the channel to see all of our videos of the entire recording process.
Make sure you leave a comment because you might end up in the next comment video.